This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we're geeking out about the first 2 episodes of WandaVision on Disney+.
Geek Boner.
We've got MCU updates about Thor, Love and Thunder, Spider-Man 3, and the Moon Knight show. Plus, Godzilla vs. Kong moves up 2 months. And we start all this off with a big announcement for the show.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too.
All that and more in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Thursday, January 21st, 2021.
Hi, this is Gilbert Gottfried, and you're listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. Why? I don't know.
Check 1. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up.
We nerd it. We funny, disturb it. We chop it, we nerd it. We spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah.
Hello and what's up, listener? Thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Jock and Nerd Podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose.
Jock and Nerd.
My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
And joining us is a dude who gets around the internet faster than a Bernie Sanders meme. It's Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
I love that meme. I've been having so much fun with Bernie Sanders sitting around looking grumpy. Oh, my God. It's so great. Now, I want to do one where he's sitting next to Oscar the Grouch.
That one needs to be done. We need a bunch of
Yeah.
felty ones. I mean, all politics aside, how fucking funny is that? And it happens so quickly. He's there next to Deadpool. He's in all the superhero movies. Amazing when the internet gets together and focuses their mind on one thing.
I like that he had like a letter that he was going to mail or something. Like that was like in another picture. He's like, looked like he was like, I got shit to do. I got to fucking do things today. Let's get this thing over with. I got to fucking mail this letter.
Anthony, have you seen a good sports one you've liked? You've chuckled at?
Well, with Bernie Sanders?
Yeah.
I'm aware of the meme, but I haven't seen a ton
Really?
of the memes. Yeah, I've only seen the picture of him
shit.
and like a couple different things here and there.
Oh my God, it's
him
everywhere.
and some Jordans and stuff. But I'm not on the internet as much as you think, or in social media.
Oh, he's got a life.
I got a life. Even during COVID, I got a life.
What?
Lame.
People are learning Photoshop just to meme Bernie Sanders all day long. Listener, last week, if you remember, we started with a big announcement from Jason Dutch about his podcast, Voice from the Underground.
Oh, shit.
This
I'm
week-
scared.
This week, we're going to start with another big announcement.
Oh, shit.
Only it's about this show.
Jock and Nerd.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
It's now going to be called The Rug Boy Show.
Yes, it is.
No? Oh, okay.
We are
That was
rebranding
easy.
the name. No,
Okay.
that's not it.
We're not doing that? Oh.
No, we're not doing that. Ruggs, do you want to tell the listener what the big announcement is?
It's really not that much of a big deal. It's just we're trying to make the show better, and stuff usually comes out on Friday, and then we don't get to it until the opposite Friday, and you don't get to hear it till that Sunday after that Friday. So I said, why the fuck are we doing this to our fans? We should just record it that same weekend and put it out in that same week. And so we're going to record on Mondays, and we're going to have a show out on Wednesday.
Basically, listener, new shows will now come out on Wednesdays.
Unless you have a Patreon.
Yeah, no, Patreon will still get the episode a day earlier. And after almost 6 years, this may be a big shift for some people, but I hope it's coming out sooner so we can turn around and get you our thoughts on the weekend stuff quicker, not a week later. Anthony, you want to add any other thing? I mean, it's gonna take some getting used to for us, but it'll be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rug Boy hit it on the head. We're trying to make the show a little bit more timely. For instance, you're listening to this episode probably having seen WandaVision episode 3.
Correct.
And we're talking about 1 and 2.
Yes.
Even though we've also seen 3 by the time this episode comes out. So we were dumb. Imran's dumb. I blame it on him.
It's fine.
It's
Blame
all
it
of
on
us
me.
working to undo what Imran has already put forth. I'm inspired. It's like I'm the Joe Biden of this whole podcast.
Yes, it is.
He,
Where it's-
he just signed a bunch of executive orders just
Yeah.
erasing everything
I'm getting
Imran
ready.
Trump put in place for all these years.
Getting rid of your Diet Coke.
Oh my God! Look, new administration, new beginnings. We're gonna try to shake it up. And that way it'll be a little more relevant. I think everyone will adjust and it won't be a big deal after like the first week. Right?
I'd like to hear everyone's thoughts on this in the nation. Go in the fucking Facebook group and let us know what you think. If your body's ready or if it's not.
And look, if you're someone who like waits and listens to the shows like later, well, none of this matters. So it doesn't fucking matter. Ignore everything we said.
Right.
You know, but for the right away listeners, you'll get to hear our thoughts on new content quicker. That's it. Big announcement. New shows now on Wednesday, starting this Wednesday. So very quick, there's going to be a show. This show comes out Sunday. There will be another show on Wednesday.
Talking nerd, geek boner.
And then there'll be every Wednesday from then on. Alrighty?
You got like an extra show.
Yeah, it's like getting a bonus show this week.
It's like a stimulus package.
It is.
We were waiting for.
Jesus Christ.
I still haven't got mine.
Lame.
I have not been stimulated. Anyways, let's get to the news, you bastards.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Also, should we reveal we just kind of decided to do this like on the fly?
Yeah,
No?
like right before we
Right
came
before we
on.
record it. Should we? No?
I don't think they need to know that.
Okay. I won't cut this out. Don't worry. We haven't thought about this for a long time, listener. A couple of quick MCU headlines to start off the news. Karen Gillan has confirmed she will be in Thor Love and Thunder, as will Matt Damon
Oh, shit.
returning.
Oh, shit.
He was in Ragnarok as the fake Loki. You remember in the stage play?
Okay.
That was Matt Damon. I don't know what role he'll be returning to, but
He should be either Goodwill Hunting
he should play
or
one
he
of
should
his
be
roles.
Jason Bourne in
Oh my
the Marvel
God.
universe.
I like that.
I read or I heard on John Campia's podcast, they were like, what if he's just a traveling group of Asgardians that do plays across the galaxy?
That would be hilarious. Wait, he was also in that fat suit. What movie was that?
What fat?
He was-
Guardians of the Galaxy
That was
or something?
that was where he was a redneck in a pickup truck with
With
a
the toilet
gut?
paper, he's talking about wiping his ass.
What movie was that? But then he was also in the play. That's two different movies. So
Yeah,
this,
but you couldn't tell it was him because it was far away
That's
and
true.
shit.
So this will be Matt Damon's third appearance in the MCU. Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
And then Nebula coming back, which, kind of makes sense. But she is joining this cast, Thor, Love and Thunder, Chris Hemsworth, of course, Tessa Thompson, Natalie Portman, Christian Bale as Gore, Jamie Alexander returning as Sif, Taika Waititi as Korg, Chris Pratt, Pom Clemente as Mantis, and Vin Diesel as Groot. Whose movie is this? This is a Guardians movie or a Thor movie? I don't know. But I like it.
It's Marvel. Everybody's in the movie. Even you. You'll be in it.
I'll be in this one as well as Spider-Man 3. Anthony, what do you think? Are they just going to put everybody in every movie now? It seems like that's kind of what they're doing.
I mean, there was a thread from Endgame where Thor left with the Guardians, so it'd be kind of weird to not address that. So this kind of all makes sense in regards to where the thread left off. So I'm in it. I'm down for it, and I like Karen Gillan as Nebula. I think she's really grown into that role. I like the Guardians that are cast for this movie. I like the cast overall. I like Taika Waititi. I've come around on Taika Waititi, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think there's going to be another fun Marvel movie and potentially spinning it into a new direction with the Lady Thor.
If Korg's coming back, I want to know if Meek's coming back too. You got to have Meek.
Gotta have Meek, yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't do much. You just hold him. So it's very easy. Moving on, Spider-Man 3 has been shooting in Atlanta. There has been some set photos. They're a little spoilery, maybe not.
Spoiler alert.
Not really. They do reveal the setting of when this movie is going to take place. It's a snowy urban setting, so probably Christmas time. So now you can guess on all the fucking titles with home and home for the holidays. It's not going to be home for the holidays. That is way too on the nose. I don't like that. What do you think? But also remember, Iron Man 3 was also Christmas, but that was because it's Shane Black and he just makes everything in Christmas for some reason. But I like that the third Spider-Man movie, he's getting a Christmas movie. We've never had Spider-Man at Christmas time. It reminds me of the Miles Morales game also, which is also set.
Do you remember the old Spider-Man comics with Santa Claus with a gun?
Yeah, I think so. And he had to stop Santa.
Yeah.
Wait, was that a Frank Miller story? I don't know.
I don't remember, but I should look it up now. But I just remember reading the Santa Claus story in Spider-Man where the Santa Claus had a gun.
So maybe he has to take down a vigilante Santa.
I mean, if they do that, that will be such a deep pull.
You know what? Oh shit! Just put Mel Gibson from Fat Man in the movie, and he's hunting Mel Gibson because Walt Goggins failed. to get
Hey, you remember this? Like, I'm gonna put this in the fucking thing. This is the cover.
Oh, goddamn, that's awesome. It's from, yes, it was this Peter Parker, Spectacular Spider-Man, issue 112, and it's a Santa Claus with his sunglasses, a cigarette, and a huge gun with a scope on it. Oh, my shit. Badass. I think I have this issue.
He's smoking a cigarette, yeah.
I don't remember what the story is.
And it says, you'd better watch out.
You better watch out. All right, so that's the plot for Spider-Man 3.
Imagine if that's the plot for Spider-Man 3, that's fucking deep.
I think it might be. This is where they're going.
They're not doing that.
No chance.
Other clues in these set photos, if you guys click that link, there's a bunch of things. You see Zendaya and you see Tom Holland walking into a store. You see the suit, and it looks like a little bit modified suit of the last suit. There's photos of the set with signs, right? And there's a sign that has a drawing of Mysterio's helmet, and it says, I believe. And then next to it, there's posters that say Citizens to Defend Spidey, kind of showing you the fallout from Far From Home and the two sides. Like, is there a whole group of people that believe what Mysterio said? And then there's a whole faction that believes Spider-Man's side, and, Also, rumors that Charlie Cox has wrapped filming for Spider-Man 3. So is Matt Murdock's going to be his fucking lawyer? Geek boner. And then
I hope so.
Yeah, get him back in.
He was the best part of the Netflix series.
Absolutely.
It would be him and then Jessica Jones. So him and Jessica Jones and Kingpin, if you could bring those characters over.
Do you think that he wants to be Daredevil?
Well, if he's Daredevil in this movie, then that would answer your question, right?
I mean, if he enjoyed being Daredevil for like a Netflix TV show, this is like a promotion. This is way bigger.
I mean, it's like, all right, do I want to be rich now?
Yeah.
Okay.
You do the same thing you can do, only going to pay you 3 times as much. What do you think? Let me think about that for a second.
That's probably a yes.
So that would be amazing. And then, you have She-Hulk. She's a lawyer. He's a lawyer. You could tie him into all these shows. And then the last rumor that I just saw is someone saying they're maybe secretly shooting Spider-Man 3 and Spider-Man 4 back to back. Oh, shit. Geek boner. Which would make a lot of sense if we are to believe all the rumors of every fucking body in all the last 5 movies. Spider-Man movies is going to be in it. Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, everybody.
If that's true, that makes me breathe a sigh of relief okay, maybe there's a reason that all these people are coming in and they're going to space it out over 2 movies, and it's not going to be like Spider-Man 3 where they jam everything into one movie and it doesn't fit. So,
yeah, hopefully we won't just get short cameos of these people. And
I've heard rumors too. I don't remember where, that basically Spider-Man 3 is the wrap to his high school years, and then Spider-Man, they'll do another trilogy for the next portion of his life.
Like college or whatever, adulthood.
Right. College, maybe creep into adulthood. I'm not sure.
Well, I'm glad they're going to at least end the high school and move him on.
I think you broke it on the show. You didn't break it. You just reported, or you just copied what or someone else reported. But
that's what I do.
Well, that's all what we do. We have no ins. We're nobody. Nope. But that they had signed Peter a deal with Sony for advancement in them collaborating for MCU movies. So I think they have bigger plans than just.
Oh, he got some more movies.
Yeah, I think they don't want to do a trilogy with Spider-Man. They want to do lots of movies with Tom Holland as the main guy.
Yeah, well, Sony does.
Sony in collaboration with Marvel.
Yeah,
right.
Well, and they're still trying to launch some kind of Spider universe with Morbius and Venom and all that. But if they're making 2 movies, I feel a lot better, just like you said, Rex, because you can't shove all this shit in one movie.
Yeah, it just seemed like too shoehorned. It sounded bad.
It's still very exciting. Listener, let us know what you think. Join the conversation. You can always email us at show@jockandnerd.com or join our Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. It is a closed, exclusive, private group just for you. Check it out. More MCU news for Disney Plus shows. Ethan Hawke apparently has been added to Marvel's Moon Knight show opposite Oscar Isaac, playing the main villain of Moon Knight. Now, here's the thing. I know nothing about the fucking Moon Knight. I do like Ethan Hawke as an actor. And Oscar Isaac's in it. So it's all good. I have a couple of names of possible villains.
Right.
I don't know if they mean anything to anyone. I'll read these names off. The possible villains could be Werewolf by Night, Dracula. He would make a good Dracula.
Yeah.
The Egyptian moon god Khonshu.
No.
The Sun King is the name of the character.
Nah.
Mephisto, the devil.
Yes.
Oh, this is interesting. It will come up later, Mephisto. You'll find out why. Or there's a character called Bushman.
No, inappropriate.
No. Yes, no. You can't call him Bushman
unless
anymore.
you're like a fan of President Bush and not like an African Bush.
I'm a Bushman. Yeah, I'm definitely a Bush. What, the first or the second one? Both of them. I like both of them. Ethan Hawke opposite Oscar Isaac. That's some good heavy-hitting actors right there.
Yeah, no, I like it. When I found out about this in my group chat, they revealed, or they shared with us, that Daredevil actor Charlie Cox wrapped filming, and then right after Ethan Hawke was playing the villain in this show, and my response was, wow, 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 wow. So
I fucking loved it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you in that, like, I don't know a ton about Moon Knight. I haven't really read Moon Knight all that much. I have a decent idea of who the character is, but I'm excited to learn about the character. And as far as the villains, I don't know if they'll go with Werewolf by Night or Dracula. I think they'll save those characters for Blade. I think they'll want to explore the like not the supernatural, but like the horror movie villain types in that movie. I think they'll probably stick with something that's a little more along the same lines of this like Egyptian.
That's what I thought.
God type thing.
I thought Khonshu would be good, but Ruggs, you said no. Khonshu has in the comic book, he's got like a big beak thing, and he's not like a person. He's a guy with a big bird head, sort of.
I mean, there might be something to the Sun King.
Yeah. It's a great Beatles song.
Yes, but because like whenever like. I think Marvel does a switcheroo, like it makes you think there's going to do something really crazy, and then they use like the lame villain instead.
Yeah,
like Ego, you know, like okay, like they all of a sudden they pump Ego up.
They did that with what's his name, Ben Kingsley.
Yeah,
and,
so
Mandarin.
So but it has to do with Ravencroft and shit like that, and he's intertwined with Mark Spector, who is Moon Knight, and Khonshu and all that stuff. But I don't know. It's he doesn't have a real name, or he's French.
Okay.
So I don't know. I mean, it's weird.
I think every actor will eventually be in a Marvel property. Just give it a little more time. They're getting there. They got half of everyone has already been in one. But I like Ethan Hawke. Okay, let's move on to some kaiju news. Godzilla fans, you guys should be excited by this one. Everything was getting pushed back and delayed. Here is a case in pandemic of something moving up to be released in the theaters and on the streaming service HBO Max. Godzilla vs. Kong has moved up 2 months from May 21st to March 26th.
Oh, shit.
Not too far away, we will get to see Godzilla take on King Kong. Now, here's the thing. The HBO put out this little teaser, which literally has, like, you have to pause it at second 12 to see Godzilla attack King Kong, and it's so short. They have given us a poster, and today confirmed that a new trailer will come out the day the show posts on Sunday, so we can talk about that next week. But for now, are you guys excited? It's coming earlier. What do you think of this poster and the quick tease of the size of them coming at each other?
You can go first, Anthony.
Yeah, I think I'm not like super pumped. I would say I'm whelmed by everything right now.
Yeah.
As it gets closer, I think I'll get more pumped just because I'm a huge kaiju fan. I'm a huge Godzilla fan. Seeing Kong versus Godzilla on the small screen, despite it being on the small screen, I think will still be exciting. Hopefully it's a good movie. I just wish, in retrospect, I think I gave a pretty decent review to Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Yeah.
But that movie's really kind of, as I think about more, it's much more of a letdown than I originally thought when I first saw it. So the hype isn't as strong as it should be for something like this.
I will agree.
But we'll see how it goes. I don't think the monsters were the problem in any of the movies. I think it was all the human stuff.
It's all the people part, exactly.
Right.
And, and you have Millie Bobby Brown's coming back in this. I guess we'll see the cast when we see the trailer. Ruggs, how did Kong get so big? First of all,
He was a baby in the first movie.
I mean, in this quick shot and in this poster, he's almost taller than Godzilla.
The poster is like hyperbole. It's not
he's
really
standing behind the buildings.
I mean,
That's
the
not
poster's
scale.
all kinds of wrong, by the way. Like, It's the Godzilla spines look like the 2014 spines, and I don't know if that's deliberate. Like, spoiler alert. Because if this movie has Mecha Godzilla, I just spoiled it for everyone.
Oh.
If the way Mecha Godzilla is exposed in the first movie, in the real Godzilla movie, is that he looks like Godzilla, and then Godzilla fights him, and then like his skin comes off, and there's like a metal underneath, like a Terminator and shit. So maybe this is like a kind of like, this is the 2014 version that the Mecha Godzilla is dressed up as, but that's the only thing I could think of, other than the fact that the people who did the design are so fucking lazy, they used the wrong spikes.
Shit.
Which is probably the case.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm looking at these spikes and they're wrong, but for me, they look wrong.
They look like the 2014, when did that movie come out, the King of the Monsters?
2019.
2019. Yeah, they made the spikes closer to how he looked in the Toho movies.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking
wrong
at
spikes, you bastards.
I'm looking at the toy right now, and like, yeah, they look completely different. I don't know if it would be the same.
Well, look, just looking at this real quick already, who takes this battle? I'm kind of rooting for King Kong.
It's gonna be like BVS. They're gonna fight, and then they're gonna team up.
Yeah, I don't see any way. I'm in a chat with a couple Godzilla people, and they were like, I hope they just have a definitive winner. I'm like, there's no chance.
Yeah, that's not actually going to happen.
This is what's going to happen. King Kong's going to have this axe, and he's going to he's going to chop Godzilla's head off. But right before, Godzilla's going to say Mothra. Why did you say that name?
No.
What? Late.
Don't do that.
I do have a minor. I guess not. It's a reasonable gripe. The one clip we did see, we have to maybe see it again or see more, but it looks like they're fighting on top of a cruise ship or a battleship.
Yeah, they're surrounded by water.
That doesn't make any goddamn sense at all.
Doesn't make sense.
This is my way of explaining that. Evidently, Monarch has like fucking shit that we've never seen before, like humongous ships that are big enough to transport these things.
Okay.
So maybe
they're standing on that.
If you're looking at it.
Yeah. While they fight and pummel each other. Listen, in the King of the Monsters, remember, Godzilla was standing in the middle of the ocean on the water shooting the beam up. And I was like,
that happens all the time.
What is he standing on? How does this work?
That's a thing in every Toho movie. He'll be in the middle of the ocean and he'll rise out and start walking. And then they'll cut to like something later in the scene, and he's swimming in the same portion of that water.
I just think, look, Godzilla has the fire breath and the nuclear breath and whatever, but I feel like Kong is a brawler. He's a little more agile. He can get under. He can get around. He can move faster than Godzilla.
Addressing the water real quick. Have you ever tread water before? It's the same thing.
I don't know how to swim.
Oh,
I don't believe in it.
You don't believe in it?
Against my religion. No, why do you want to go underwater? You can't breathe air there. It makes no sense.
The only thing that I could, once again, try and explain away with fucking stupid movie science is that maybe he's got like a buoyancy thing where he can like take in air into his lungs or something and it makes him buoyant.
He's farting repeatedly to keep him afloat. He's farting.
So you think King Kong would have the advantage?
I think he would, because look at how bulky Godzilla is. If you knock him down, get him on his side or his back, he's not going to be able to get up. Kong can jump around. Well,
look, Godzilla could get up. The point is that King Kong's going to be able to make weapons. He's going to be able to do things like using like tools.
He's got prehensile thumbs.
Yeah, he's going to be able to kind of
advantage.
Climb buildings and use like the environment to his advantage.
Fuck yeah.
And that's going to be interesting. If they do that, who the fuck knows? Maybe they don't do anything and they just punch each other once and that's it. But Godzilla's got the fucking fire breath.
Yeah. The breath is the huge
The breath
thing.
is deadly. It is.
And that'll like knock the piss out of him, and then he'll get gassed out.
You got to hit.
I mean, they knew in the original that it was really no contest, so they had to give Kong some sort of extra power, and they gave him like a lightning electricity touch.
Oh, really?
Like a death touch with with electricity.
He had like the Miles Morales venom sting.
He did kind of have like a venom sting.
Weird.
He got electrocuted. He got his ass kicked by Godzilla a few times, and then he got electrocuted and came like rose from the dead like Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Was able to like shock Godzilla with his hands every time he touched him.
That's kind of badass right there. He becomes Electro. That's great. Look,
have you seen the original, Imran?
No, is this the black and white one you're talking about? Is it in black and white, the original?
No, it's not. It's the third Godzilla movie. It's not in black. It's their first color.
It's
Godzilla
pretty
movie.
silly. You'd probably.
I think you probably. I mean, you liked Godzilla versus Hedorah. You'll
That
love
one's
Godzilla
great.
versus Kong. King Kong.
It's called? It's just called Godzilla versus King Kong.
It's actually
It's on
King Kong versus Godzilla.
It's on HBO.
Oh yeah, all the Godzilla movies, or a lot of them are on there, right?
It's
The Showa ones, yeah.
Yeah. It's ironically, it's the only Godzilla film where he's not the title character. It's always like Godzilla versus, and this one's King Kong versus
Godzilla.
King Kong was the bigger star.
1962. Kong had top billing on this one. Wow,
He was the bigger star.
That's interesting. I'm totally gonna watch this. If I'm 62,
It's a fun, wacky movie.
Yeah. This is the one.
There's a scene.
Kong looks ridiculous. Yeah, no, go ahead.
Oh, he looks ridiculous. They use a real octopus in that movie, by the way.
Shit. Nice.
Also, there's a scene where they clearly have like stand-in toys.
Yeah.
That like jump, like start fighting. Like you'll see there's like one where they cut to a scene where it's like a toy coming at another toy.
It's not a man in a suit even. It's a toy.
Well, there's mostly man in suit, but there's one scene where like I think Kong like drop kicks Godzilla.
That's
or something.
awesome. These retro posters for this movie are amazing too. I love it. I'm totally watching this if it's on HBO Max.
The one thing I want to say about this Godzilla versus Kong moving to March 26th, wasn't it supposed to come out March 26th to begin with? Like when they first announced it?
I always felt like March was the date.
Yeah.
No, you may be right. I think it was, and then they pushed it back, and then this
HBO
whole
Max deal.
Yeah, this whole deal and the Tenet thing and all this, the release with Dune. They were like, because this is Legendary. So on the one hand, they have this lawsuit from Legendary for Dune to not put it out. And I think the part of the compensation was we'll let you put this one out right away.
This is the way I see it. Okay, so Netflix was going to buy it,
right?
Then Warner Brothers got into a lawsuit. They ponied up the money.
Yep.
So now the investors, which is Legendary, they're happy.
Yeah.
All right, they got paid. Now it's going to be released in the theaters at the same time. Same day and date, just like Wonder Woman.
Yep.
And Wonder Woman made like $135 million.
Yeah, didn't do too bad.
So
I guess.
even if like this makes 50 million or 70 million, that's an extra so the whole take from Legendary would be like 300 million, which is almost like what it did when it was in the theaters, right?
What it would have gotten.
So I think it all works out.
Wonder Woman expiring on HBO Max in a few days, I think January 24th. It's made $142 million worldwide, Wonder Woman.
So if it makes half of that, right? If it makes 70 million.
It's just a shame it's coming off that last movie, which is like we were talking about. I think a lot of that is killing the hype. But, Anthony, I agree. The closer it gets, I get a little more excited. Because now
King of the Monsters ended up making what?
Like 300 million? 360 something?
Yeah, 300 and change. So I think they're going to make the same amount of money.
Both ways. Well, we'll see next week. We'll get a trailer. Hopefully, they said they will come out. We'll see if there's any other monsters in there. We'll see who the humans are.
I don't think they'll tease another monster in there. I think that'll be all.
It'll just those two.
Godzilla versus Kong. But I think in the movie, it eventually leads to a team up.
So there will be more. There'll be another something to fight against. Another monster.
Well,
Where did you hear the Mecha Godzilla thing, Ruggs?
Oh, about what? Mecha Godzilla was going to
he's
be
in this movie.
Is that a spoiler?
Oh, that's a total spoiler.
Is that legit? How do you know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's I saw toys.
The toys. The fucking toys.
I saw the toys.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Well, then they fucked themselves.
Yeah, the toys always do it.
Well, the toys have been out for the longest time. I don't think they released them in the stores yet, but there's photos of them everywhere.
I mean, the same thing happened with Wonder Woman and these other movies that got delayed. I think Black Widow, like all these toys.
But
yeah,
I guarantee you, the trailer's coming out on Sunday.
Yeah.
All right. So the trailer's coming out on Sunday. I think at during the football game, isn't there an AFC game or something?
Yeah, there's both the NFC and AFC championships are both.
So they're
Sunday.
probably going to throw them there for a big wide audience release. And then it's probably going to go on the internet. And they also announced that there's rumors of a MonsterVerse animated show or a MonsterVerse TV show on HBO Max.
You see the MonsterVerse logo in this first look teaser that they have.
So are they doing where it's Godzilla or Kong is fighting Godzilla, but it's really Mecha Godzilla? Well, that would suck.
I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know. I just know Mecha Godzilla's in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the toys now, and it looks like they are modeling it. It could potentially be with him wearing the Godzilla skin.
Or none of this could happen, listener. You don't know. We don't know. It could just
that's conjecture about the skin, but it's just dubious to me that a professional poster from Legendary would have a 2014 spikes when everybody who's all the nerds would be able to tell that right away that it's the wrong Godzilla.
I don't know. Marvel does that all the time with fucking shitty posters. I don't think it's that big of a
Oh, it's just that they're lazy and they want
Yeah.
to go find new assets, so they just cobble some bullshit together.
this shit. They always do this shit. It's like, again, and like it's even the poster. It's got the two color opposing teal and orange. That's on every fucking poster.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
so
you're
it's
right.
not the most original.
No.
All right, I can't wait for that trailer. Moving on to some streaming war news. We got a new streaming service coming into the ring. It's kind of new. It's a rebrand of something else. Paramount Plus will be launching March 4th in the US and Latin America. This is from Viacom CBS, and it is the expanded rebrand of their CBS All Access subscription
Is it free?
service. I don't know.
No way.
CBS All
Peacock
Access
is free, right? So
The cock is free, sort of.
There's a free portion
Yeah.
that's not. But I mean, there's just a little bit on there.
And you don't get the original programming in that free part. So CBS All Access has been around since 2014, of course, and they've been putting out the new. That's where you go here to see the new Star Trek shows, which I have not watched because I don't have it. But it will combine the live streaming of CBS network programming. It's 150 plus local affiliates, NFL games, original series. Paramount Plus will also feature dedicated hubs for Viacom's shit like Nickelodeon, MTV, BET, Comedy Central, and a total of some 30,000 titles. At present, CBS All Access is believed to have about 8 to 9 million subscribers. So I feel like they're late to rebranding this, even though they were there first. But
Not first, but they were there early.
they were there early but even 2014, I don't feel like anybody was talking about CBS All Access or it had a lot of buzz. And clearly, it's only got 8 to 9 million subscribers. What do you guys think? Is this too late or a necessary move right now?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that young kids might like.
Yes.
So I feel like if they make it like a free version, they'll get people in
to watch their
into
library
it.
programming.
And then maybe they can probably upsell them.
Yeah, I think we're getting to, and all these networks want their own streaming because they just see dollars in it, and they're able to, get money direct instead of working through the cable companies. But yeah, we're getting to the saturation point for sure.
A little bit.
Because there's too many, and now it's people are picking and choosing. And Rug Boy sent us an article during the week of people canceling after they watch
Mandalorian
a show. Yeah. So I think it's nice to have variety and a choice, but it's also getting to be too many things, and I don't think people are going to want to shell out the cash for everything.
What do you think of them marrying each other?
Who?
Like what if like Peacock and Paramount had a baby?
Peacock is Universal, NBC.
It would be Paracock.
Paracock.
I mean,
Or it'd be
that
the
would
P-mount.
that would probably be ideal, but then, that's two gigantic corporations that would want to have
That's
to do
unheard
business
of.
with each other.
That's never happened. There's no way I could see CBS, Viacom, and Universal NBC.
Do you think, here's the other thing. This is the other thing. Do you think that they're going to want to get piecemeal while Netflix is getting the bulk of the people and they're getting like the little fucking scraps?
They're getting the runoffs.
They need something that could take Netflix down. And they might have to turn into Voltron and shit.
It is the place for Star Trek. They can lean on that, but that's only going to get you so many.
Well, the thing is like the model before with like Netflix was like you just had everything, right? You had all this stuff, so you had all this back catalog of content, and now like all these like Peacock is really putting a lot of their money behind the fact that they have The Office, and HBO Max has Friends, and all this backlog of categories, and Paramount Plus is going to have all this stuff that you would mention. But it seems like the real thing that keeps people interested in these streaming networks is original content.
Yeah.
And you have to have hit shows coming out all the time or people are just going to cancel. So like it's kind of like a never-ending investment because you're always investing in new content that's original and exclusive to your platform, and you have to have enough runway on that so that people are interested to then hopefully pop on to the next thing that you have, or else you're losing those people.
So it's kind of like a funnel. You need library content to get people in, and then you have to provide good original content at some kind of pace to keep them.
Actually, I think it's flipped. So you're saying, I think it's actually you need original content to get people in, and you need the library to get people to stay. I think it's flipped in that way. I also think these networks, like to Rug's point, I think I saw that in the article that you sent. There's got to be like there's got to be another experience or another thing that once you're in that doesn't make you want to leave, like some sort of VIP thing. Because if not, then you're just watching the show and you have no loyalty to the brand. You just have loyalty to whatever's good.
Paying
for that
$30 extra for a movie isn't special enough to keep it.
Well, you got to ask yourself, like cable companies did this for years, right? They figured out a way to create a package.
Yeah.
And then people would go and piecemeal like the HBO and the Showtime. They'd bundle them together, and then all of a sudden you have a package where you're like, oh, I'm going to get the extreme package or whatever.
Right.
So I think that having all of these little tiny things these apps, they're cool. But then when you're using your Roku or whatever you got a whole wall of these fucking tiles now. Yeah. It's just too many things.
It's a lot of shit. And I said a long time ago, it's going to need bundling. It's going to have to come back and it's going to become like what cable was, where you bundle everything. It's going to go back to that.
The only thing though on the bundling, and I agree, like that's potentially where it could go, is I think the cost of having all this content to be at your fingertips on demand, I think is way more.
Yeah.
Than what it costs to produce cable television.
Oh,
like,
sure.
I think I don't know. I don't have any hard facts, but I think this bubble might burst in 5-10 years.
Fuck.
Executives might be like, yeah, that streaming thing, it's a money pit. There's no way you can ever make money doing this unless you were Netflix.
Netflix is going to break even for the first time.
We're going to get to that. But to your point, Anthony, you're right. It's every streaming service you have to be premium cable like HBO and spend that much money. It's not.
Well, like HBO is like spending, like they're not exactly doing that great. The only ones that really are doing well is Netflix and like Disney Plus. Everyone else is like kind of skating by, but I think they're all losing shit tons of money. And I think the technology you need to be able to host all this stuff, I think it's probably really expensive.
Oh, fuck yeah. You need fucking server farms.
So like to getting to the bundling phase, like let's say like the Paracock gets together.
Yeah.
And they have like all this content, but they've bundled it together for like $10.
They're losing even more money.
Like,
now.
is it even like feasible, or like are they making enough to even do this?
The reason why I think that the difference is in the numbers. So right now you got them with 8-9 million subscribers, right?
Yeah.
If they could maybe get it up to 12 or 13 or whatever, that's fine. But if they combine, you're looking at trying to get the 200 that Netflix has, the 200 million, so that's a fucking lot.
The one thing I do really love about all these streaming services and the library, speaking of library content, is there's like CBS has classic sitcoms, years of amazing classic, like think about All in the Family, all those shows. So it used to be you needed DVD sets of your favorite show to watch. Not anymore. It is amazing that how new people are getting introduced to classic old TV now. It's fantastic.
In terms of like access to television, like if you have the money to do it, and actually you can make it work on a budget and just cancel stuff monthly. You have more access to the history of television and movies than ever before at your fingertips. Like there's
fantastic.
The gateway, the barrier to entry is very low compared to what it used to be.
It is. You have no excuse. Like if you want to watch like AFI's top of the best movies of all time, you really have no excuse. They're right there at your fingertips everywhere.
How amazing would it be if you could actually navigate this shit and get what you wanted? So like there was just like, you're like a fucking old dude that likes to watch Westerns, and there's just fucking the Western fucking database, and every Western TV show, every title is in that thing, and you could just fucking watch Westerns forever.
You would require a lot of collaboration, and unfortunately it's capitalism. All these companies are not going to want to work together to provide something like that. I don't think, not yet.
Speaking of Netflix, Ruggs, you just broke the next story. Netflix passed an amazing subscriber benchmark. You said at the end of 2020, Netflix's total number of paid subscribers is 203.7 million.
Oh, shit.
Holy fuck. So they added 37 million subscribers during the pandemic of 2020. This is a pandemic-proof business. People were starved for content. 37 million, that is fucking wild. So they're projecting in 2021 where they'll break even finally instead of lose money for the first time in a long time. Their total net cash loss dropped from $1.5 billion in 2019 to just $138 million. Wow, in 2020. And they think that trend's going to continue. Holy shit, their cash loss dropped a lot. And they got almost 40 million. I'm not surprised, but it's fucking crazy. Nobody's catching them.
Yeah, they've. I mean, they have the brand equity. They were first. They were the guys that the guy that invented it was a genius and took the leap. They're going hard this year though. I mean, a new movie every week.
I mean, just think about where they came from. That dude is like, I just want to mail DVDs to people, and now we have this fucking monster Hollywood.
Did you ever listen to the Business Wars versus Blockbuster?
With
That's a
Reed
super
Hastings and Ted Sarandos. Yeah, it's such a great story. There's a bunch of
Blockbuster could have been there, but they were a little late.
The incredible thing is that there's still times where I go on Netflix and I'm like, there's nothing for me to watch.
Oh shit. There sometimes is, there sometimes it isn't. So
my mom just got like super into Netflix. She was watching like movies from the Philippines.
Yeah.
But then she started jumping into American movies.
Yeah.
And like the algorithms just caught her. Like she's just literally every time I look at the TV, I'm like, you're watching a new movie. She's like, yeah, this Netflix thing is great.
Now watch this one. Watch this one.
Let's watch.
Don't they have
watch this one.
Filipino movies on there? I know they have like Indian movies.
Do.
Yeah,
they do.
Everything.
They have a fucking a large catalog. I was very surprised. It's ruined my Netflix. It's ruined me because it's my account.
No, you should have made another profile.
Well, it's all I'm sharing with someone else, so I'm not the main guy.
Okay.
So it's like ruined my algorithm now, and everything that's being suggested to me is something in another language. So that's great.
Yeah, my algorithm's been fucked for a while because I had someone at work, I shared it with them, and their kids would just watch kid shit, and I would turn on my Netflix, and I'm like, why is there all this kid shit? They're telling me to watch all this stuff.
Yeah.
Now, how do you stop them?
Well, it's better now.
You just change your password?
I changed the password, but it took time to slowly readjust and actually show me some shit I would be interested in.
I would just create a new thing. And
I should have.
Yeah,
I should.
But look at that. Look at the thing though. They hit 200 million. They only reached profitability once they hit 200 million subscribers.
Yeah. After
think about
years.
that. This is a fucking money pit.
Yeah.
I think it's eventually going to be like the .com bubble bursting, where it's like, wait a minute, what? We were investing all this and it never was going to make money.
Well, I think a lot of it is trial and error. A lot of it is like them being first and having to make all the mistakes.
Yeah.
And kind of like throwing money at everything to see what fucking works.
See, I feel like that strategy is changing. I don't think they're going to be doing that anymore.
And they're buying IP.
Everything.
They're developing IP.
Like just throwing shit at the wall
doing.
and see if it works.
Oh no, they know their Netflix's strategy is 100% investing in original content.
Yeah. But you see that they're canceling shows. They're being a lot more like judicious about their moves now.
The big thing is, as The Mandalorian kind of proved, is you have to have a hit show that catches. If you have a hit show that catches, like Disney Plus already had a great brand, they had great marketing, in my opinion, but they got The Mandalorian. Like, we were literally complaining for a year that nothing new was coming on Disney Plus, yet they kept growing their subscriber base basically because of The Mandalorian.
And now we're going to get a bunch. Also, we're waiting for the next Stranger Things. I don't know. Their TV shows are very buzzy. But
Netflix,
Netflix. Their movies.
They're always. I mean, Queen's Gambit. We talked about. They always move in something.
How much does Disney Plus have now? Do they have 100 million yet?
No, they have like
85.
All right, check this out. The amount of new content that they made is like nothing. It's like a drop in the bucket, right? Compared to all the fucking money that Netflix has thrown in there to get where Disney is now.
But the new content they are making is we'll get to it later, but we can tease it. I mean, it's costing them $250. They're investing movie money in these TV shows.
It's a way different model. I also wonder if they will change their release schedule as they see, how this weekly thing really carries the buzz for Disney Plus.
I think the weekly thing is back to being genius again.
Yeah.
It's all coming back around.
You think Netflix will ever go back, do that instead of just releasing everything at once? I wonder if they thought
I don't know.
That.
I think their model has been just releasing at once. I think it would be like a referendum on what they were trying to do.
Yeah, it's their style.
I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah.
It's their style though, right? Like,
it's their style.
What was the show? Is it Orange is the New Black?
Yep,
No, House
yep.
of Cards.
House of Cards.
Like
was
when
the
they
first
invested
one.
in House of Cards and bought it, it was like a wild idea to release all the episodes at once.
Yeah.
And they did it,
Yeah.
and it ended up fucking killing it for them.
So I think that's kind of their signature. They may have to stay with that. We'll see, man. Netflix, see if anybody can catch up, and we'll see this year all the movies they put out. Listener, before we take a break, there is a sale at our shop. Visit jockandnerd.com/shop. Get some merch, get some swag, get the new look all over your face and chest. The sale this week, January 27th through 29th, everything up to 35% off. You can get $13 t-shirts, $20 phone cases, a whole bunch of stuff with the new logo, the new look on sale this week. Check it out. jockandnerd.com/shop. Let's take a quick break and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about Wanda and we're going to talk about Vision and we're going to talk about WandaVision right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Check out what's been going on with the Pop Culture Cosmos Show and the PCC Multiverse.
I see the potential for basically like another Netflix kind of paradigm shift where here comes this other major player. They have a ton of resources. Apple could change the way that entertainment is consumed.
They say it's the only time this year that you'll have stars from each brand battling each other, and we know it's not going to be the case, but they like to say that, and more power to them, I guess.
Well, it's a big first step, bringing all those superheroes together. There were definitely some parts of the movie that I really enjoyed, and then there were some parts that I thought just kind of fell short of expectation.
Part of it has to be something to do with how it's being promoted, and this is a thing where audiences do not agree with critics.
That's the Pop Culture Cosmos Show.
And the PCC Multiverse, every week on Apple Podcasts.
And over a dozen of your favorite streaming and podcasting options.
I'm Imran.
And I'm Sophia.
I'm the brother.
And I'm the sister. And we are watching a show about cousins.
We're your hosts for Dance of Joy, a Perfect Strangers rewatch podcast.
We grew up watching the 80s hit sitcom, and now we'd like you to join us every week as we rediscover our love for our favorite TV cousins, Balky and Larry.
You can find our show at danceofjoypod.com and on all major podcast platforms. Now we are so happy, Sophia. We do the Dance of Joy.
Imran, this is a podcast. They can't see us.
Oh, po.
Doc and Nerd.
Listener, if you enjoy the show and want to support the show and help ensure that we keep making the show, might I suggest you join our awesome fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon. And for as little as $3 a month, you get bonus content, a bonus RSS feed with extra bullshit from us, movie reviews, a sports show with Cheswell.
Their bottom is very weak.
Cheswellish.
Chaswellish, yeah.
Like Billie Eilish, Cheswellish.
Yeah, I like that.
The actual sports
Lady
show.
Chaswell.
Lady Cha-Cha. The Lady Cha-Cha.
Cha-Cha.
Lady Cha-Cha. What the fuck? Lady Cha-Cha. That's the Chaz version of Gaga. Okay. Anyways, and look, we announced, we're putting the show out earlier. You're still going to get the show a day early if you sign up. Anthony, you put up more Oscar buzz movies. This is a great set of movies here.
Yeah. One Night in Miami, which came out last Friday on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
I rented Promising Young Woman, which came out
that just came
last
out.
weekend.
Yeah.
And then Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is on Netflix, so I watched all three.
I have seen I've seen two of those. One Night in Miami, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I have not seen Promising Young Woman. I've heard amazing things about it.
Promising Young Woman is like the Get Out type.
Of this
a couple
year,
years
huh?
ago. It's like it's getting all this buzz that no one thought would happen.
Out of nowhere. I'm definitely going to have to rent this one because everybody's talking about it. I do like the other two movies were very good.
I'll steal it.
Okay, and I'll steal it. Also, I did do instant reactions to episodes 1 and 2 of WandaVision, and I probably will continue doing them. They're fun. I'm just going to make it easy, quick.
You're going to do them, and then you're going to record our show a day later.
Yeah, and then you'll hear me sooner. So, look, you'll hear me. You'll get the instant reaction like on Saturday, and then you'll hear us just a few days later. It's great. It's all going to work out. jockandnerd.com/Patreon.
This is going great.
Okay, let's get to our review. Of course, it's the return of the MCU. WandaVision episodes 1 and 2 have premiered on Disney Plus. Here are your spoiler alerts.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler
spoiler time.
Look, this time we gave you a week to watch it, so everyone should be caught up. But moving forward, you're going to have to watch these quicker because we will spoil them when we talk about them. On Rotten Tomatoes right now, the show is holding a 97% average tomato meeting. What this means, and they don't give it an average rating. So the straight 97% tomato meeting technically means WandaVision rating. Is there a meeting? What am I saying? 97% tomato rating for WandaVision technically means this is now the highest rated MCU thing on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, shit.
And
Whoa.
yeah, there's only been 2 episodes. So, but I think the next thing is like Endgame, and it's like 96 or 94. The budget of this movie, as you alluded to, TV show, Anthony, I found out they're spending approximately $25 million per episode. So you're looking at about $225 to $250 million total.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
That is a big budget Marvel movie budget, right?
It is. That's they're spending movie money on.
That's
that stuff.
amazing.
It's 9 episodes, right?
9 episodes. The show created and written by Jack Schaefer, directed by Matt Shankman. And look, how do we start? Let's talk about it overall. Talk about each episode. Each episode based itself on a different classic sitcom. And Anthony, overall, the tone of the show so far. Geek Boner.
Floppy Jock.
Where you at?
As you guys may know, I'm a big fan of the MCU. I think the year off really helped. I was erect the entire time watching both episodes.
I fucking loved it.
For sure. Definitely erect. Yeah, I mean, I think it's freaking. I think the attention to detail is really good. For the longest time, a lot of fans, maybe even me, have kind of wanted the MCU to take a little risk and do something different. I know the original plan was to have Falcon and the Winter Soldier come out first before COVID hit, and it seems like that would have been more of the movie just on the small screen. This is like wildly different, and we'll see where it goes. It's only 2 episodes that we've seen, but so far, recreating the 50s and 60s TV show with kind of like an underlying darkness mystery thing, I think it's brilliant. I think they're going in a different direction and they're taking a risk. And I know that because anecdotally, I've had people that aren't big MCU fans that have watched it and gone, I don't know if I like this. I was expecting big MCU action. So they're not going the safe route. People are going to watch this and be like, some people might not be into a Dick Van Dyke recreation. Right. But I like that they're at least trying something new, and this is like the perfect platform to do it. So far, I like it. I'm super impressed.
Right on. Ruggs, overall thoughts, and then we'll dive into the episodes.
Oh, man. How do I even put this? All right. So I echo a lot of Anthony's thoughts. I do understand what they're doing. I understand that they're taking risks. And I understand that what all of the care and detail that is involved in recreating these shows and that it's fun and it's cute. And in that way, I don't really feel like it's that risky because Marvel tends to do fun and cute a lot. And I think that's to appeal to a diverse group of people. And you go, hey, nostalgia, all that stuff. I like talking about the show more than I liked watching the show.
I can kind of relate to that. Yes.
I like
that makes a lot of sense.
I was so much more enthralled in watching people do Easter egg videos.
There's a lot to pick apart here.
Than actually experiencing the actual show.
Huh.
So I was like, on that level as a alternate reality game, remember when you used to watch Lost and you'd go on the internet and look shit up and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I don't know what the fuck I'm watching, but no, it's supposed to be really cool.
Yeah.
And I know that this is going to pay off.
Yeah.
Because Marvel's not going to fucking fuck this up. It's going to pay off. And I know that by episode 4, we start really getting into it. So it's a slow burn. They're setting things up. They're true to the source. I'm not saying I had the greatest time with it, but I know that everything that's happening is for a reason, and I believe in the show, so it's going to pay off, and I know that it's going to be a big payoff. So I'm kind of cautiously optimistic, but not overwhelmed at the experience of watching it.
So I'm kind of between you guys. No surprise, I guess. Or maybe surprise. While I agree with everything you guys said, it's clearly they've just given us a taste and they're setting something up. What was a weird disconnect is they're presenting it as a sitcom. The jokes were really like cliche, not really funny. And, they were doing jokes about Vision being a robot. And it was funny like the first fucking 5 times. And they kept doing it. And I was like, all right, we get it. But it's not a comedy show. It's a weird mystery David Lynch-y thriller presented as a sitcom. So I do love this slow burn and the stuff they've given us to dig into. I love how it's kind of Truman Show meets Pleasantville kind of, and you already pick up the fact that Wanda is kind of controlling this and there's other forces involved and she can do things and is that even Vision really there? I will say one thing, like you said, Anthony, they nailed the fucking TV show aesthetic. Doing the Perfect Strangers podcast now that I do, like studying that sitcom and remembering and referencing other classic sitcoms, I fucking love the attention to detail. I was raised by TV sitcoms. So this was they did it so perfectly with the Dick Van Dyke Show, the first episode, Bewitched with the second episode. Lucy. And kind of I Love Lucy and there's a whole bunch of references we're going to get into.
The first episode is 50s and the next one is the 60s.
Dick Van Dyke tripping over the couch.
So the first episode is, first of all, I love seeing the Marvel logo again in something. I really needed that. I was like, oh shit, it's been so long. And then I love how it turned to black and white and even the audio went from like stereo to mono. And the first episode is called Filmed in Front of a Live Studio Audience. And it's clear Dick Van Dyke opening, him riffing on, he usually falls over the couch and trips, but Vision and he just phases through it. Then it gets weird at the end and you got Kitty from fucking that 70s show, who she's great. And I love how both episodes get kind of ominous and dark and strange and the reality kind of gets pulled back. And that's my only one criticism is I wanted more. Like they're really slow playing. They're slow playing. They just gave us a fucking taste.
I especially like the attention to detail in terms of like they recreate the 50s vibe and the 60s vibe. The 50s vibe is a lot of like situational stuff where it's like big miscommunications.
That's
like
classic sitcom plots. Yes,
right,
perfect.
exactly. Like Wanda thinks that Vision's it's their anniversary. Vision thinks that Wanda knows that he's bringing his boss over. Yep. So it's like a classic miscommunication. So perfect. But I really enjoy is like when the dinner scene and then things get weird and the guy's choking. Like the camera angles all of a sudden start to change and it gets to like a modern lens, right? Like there's focusing in on that 70s show lady going, stop it.
That was so creepy. I was
it's
like,
super creepy, right? And like that's the only, if you notice, they were doing a lot of like practical effects.
Yes.
But that's the first part in the episode where they do like modern digital effects when he phases in to get the meat out of his throat.
Yeah, the effects they're using strings and wires to make things float like they did on the old shows, and there was a live studio audience there.
Kind of like not really a spoiler, but I think I watch a lot of Fahey interviews and a lot of interviews with Shankman, who's the director. I think they're going like every episode up to like if I did the math right, which I believe I did, it'd be 7 episodes worth of eras. So 50s, decades, 60s, next one 70s, 80s, 90s. They're going to go 2000s and even 2010s.
So that's 7 episodes, and then
and they even someone asked like, "Are you going to even do like Office type references?" They're like, maybe.
So then that still leaves like 2 whole episodes.
So that would leave
for
2 whole
resolution.
episodes to address the larger issue.
And I'm sure the big set pieces are going to be all in the end. I mean, where is this? I need to see this $250 million eventually. Like, what?
Yeah, that's another question I had. Like, what are they spending? Building these sets, maybe? But like, I don't know.
Well, so far it's very simple. No, but so that scene at the end, it switches from like you have the standard 3-camera sitcom set, and when she's saying "Stop it, Anthony," it's weird because she's looking right at Wanda, and then Wanda actually she goes, "Stop it, Vision, help him." Like some people know that Wanda is the key to this reality. It's weird, and I love it. That August 23rd date, I don't know what that means. Does anybody have any guesses, or do you think that's going to be significant?
I think so.
8/23.
It'll be something.
I loved Vision when he's at work figuring out what it is they actually do. He's like, what do we actually do here?
I think that was one of the funnier jokes. Yeah. Because it was, I like all the meta stuff that's in there. There's a lot of meta in there.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of good meta in there.
It reminded me of Friends, where you never knew what Chandler Bing actually did for work. It was never established. And so a lot of these sitcoms, So, the other thing, okay, I got to mention this. It's so clever that she's warped her reality to sitcom reality because being a fan of sitcoms, you realize sitcoms have their own warped reality that you are watching. And I always wanted to live in like a TV sitcom reality. It's like characters that show up one season, they come back 3 seasons later as a completely different character and nobody questions, but kids grow. So like the sitcom reality is already warped and twisted. So it's so perfect that she's kind of, and maybe Westview, I like this theory somebody had, Westview, is that this was Wanda's view of the West when she was in Sokovia through watching TV shows.
Well, what's cool about sitcoms, I actually remember watching a lot of Nick at Night as a kid because it was an easy transition, right? Like, as a kid watching Nickelodeon, so I would turn it on thinking I'd get the same stuff. It'd be Nick at Night.
And it's all this black and white
I'd
shit.
just watch it, yeah. So I watched a lot of I Love Lucy and a lot of the shows on there, and then TGIF was watching Full House and Family Matters. So I'm pretty familiar with some sitcom stuff. And what's like interesting to me about sitcoms is sitcoms are like kind of a reflection of the world at the time, or America.
Yeah.
But then they're like kind of like an alternate reality of America,
where everything's
right? Like
wrapped up in
the
20
50s
minutes.
sitcoms. The wife is at home, like all she's doing is she's just happy to be
the
there, right?
perfect
Like
family
she's got no other motivations other than being happy to be at home and like serve the dude who's like coming home every day, like bringing home the bacon, and like that was kind of how it is. But like I'm sure women at the time wanted to do more than just fucking sit at home. And like every era of these shows, I'm interested to see like how they recreate those things, and then like how it's kind of a reflection of like looking back, like, man, they kind of were like things were really fucked up.
Well, especially in the 50s, this was the presentation of the perfect nuclear family that everybody wanted, but nobody really had that. It was just an appearance, and you would just put a white picket fence, but there's probably all sorts of disorder on the inside. But the TV shows, that's the family. That's why you wanted to live in the shows. Like, I wanted the Brady Bunch to fucking adopt me. It was so much fun in their house. Let's get to the first commercial in the first episode. They have fake commercials. I fucking love this. This probably was like my most fascinating part of the show is picking apart this commercial. There's a dude, there's a woman. In the other commercial, same 2 people. This is a toaster, the Toastmate, made by Stark Industries. Here's a couple of things I noticed. Obviously, the red light is the first piece of color in the first episode. It starts blinking red, and then it starts blinking faster and faster, kind of like a bomb, kind of like in Age of Ultron when they were talking about the Stark bomb. Also, when she presses down the toaster, it makes an Iron Man charge up sound, real faint. So I love that little detail. And just, I love that they're putting these commercials in there.
Yeah, I think it's like some kind of a memory amalgam of Stark, because I think that when she was a kid, the Stark bomb didn't explode.
Right.
So that's like ingrained in her head, and then that Iron Man and these machines, sometimes they call them toasters.
Oh, that's right. They would call him Toaster.
Yeah. So in the comics, they did anyway.
Yeah.
So maybe an homage to that.
There's also the sword stuff. I think you might have mentioned it.
Yeah,
right?
no, here, let's get into
logos.
a couple of Easter eggs. There's the sword logo that shows up at the end when the credits of the show within a show roll. It pulls back, and then there's someone sitting there. I think it's a woman, and there's a notebook and a screen, and you see the sword logo. And this is a bunch of podcasters on the internet caught this. And this is a total geek podcaster thing that I caught. Sitting in that shot is a device called the Rodecaster Pro, made by Rode a few years ago. It's like the hottest thing for podcasters. It's like an all-in-one device. It records. It has sound pads. It has multiple tracks. And every podcaster was like, holy shit, there's a Rodecaster Pro sitting in fucking WandaVision. They must have just thought, because it's cool because it's got colored lights and shit, so it looks cool. I just
is that just like it's not used for a podcast? It just looks used because it looks cool.
They just bought it. It's like $600. They bought it to put it in the set. They're not making a podcast. The other Easter egg I liked was that greeting when she covers Vision's eye, the boss's eyes, and he has to cover. He's like, "Oh, it's a traditional Sokovian greeting," similar to how she made them see the visions in Age of Ultron, where she kind of held up her hands in front of their eyes.
No, it's definitely, both episodes are laced with a million Easter eggs, not only for MCU, but just like homages and things to like their sitcoms that they're trying to recreate. That's why I'm like, the attention to detail on this is insane.
There's something in the end credits, like the light pixel stuff at the end of both of these episodes. There's clues all over. It's obvious.
Well, it's green, blue, and red, which are like the colors that are used for TV.
RGB, yeah.
So, I mean, I have to even admit, I mean, I know that Ruggs mentioned that he enjoy watching it as much as talking about it. There was a couple I mean, there were times for me personally where I laughed out loud, like when Vision is trying to distract them from seeing that Wanda's using her magic and he sings Yakety Yak.
That was just silly.
I laughed out loud.
He's actually playing the ukulele, I think. It looked like.
And then the point in the second episode where they're cutting back to him basically like a cartoon like a version of his like
his
inner body parts, and he's drunk eating gum.
Yeah, let's get to that second episode. This one's called Don't Touch That Dial. And this one, really, first of all, I love that Paul Bettany, Elizabeth Olsen, they're great in this. And I love that they actually get to interact like so much more than they ever have in any of the movies. And Paul Bettany is really funny, as you see in this episode, where the gum gums him up. I love they cut to a cartoon, like you said, and he acts drunk, and it's fucking hilarious. This one, the opening, is a straight ripoff of the animated opening of Bewitched, A Little I Dream of Jeannie.
A little bit, yeah.
With tons of Easter eggs. There's like, you see like the Grim Reaper's helmet. There's references to Agatha Harkness and Bova Milk and bunch of stuff. Then in this episode, we get their second bit of color where she finds the red helicopter, also with the sword logo. What do you think is going on here?
Well, that's definitely like a callback to Stark, Iron Man armor.
Same color, and the color red shows up a lot in.
Well, yeah, there's going to be a bleeding hand in this episode too.
Everything's red. It's interesting.
Well, Scarlet Witch is Scarlet Witch. She's red.
Her costume is red.
So that might be a thing. I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. It's fun to talk about the show because they did fucking throw a million Easter eggs in there. Yeah, I think it has to do with Stark and Sword. Like, let's talk about Sword. Sword is the obviously Shield is the home Earth protection, and Sword is the outer space protection.
They changed what the acronym means for the MCU. In the comics, it's Sentient World Observation and Response Department. In the MCU, in the logo, somebody figured it out. It says Sentient Weapons Observation and Response Department.
So is she a sentient weapon?
She is a sentient weapon. They are watching her because she's the sentient weapon, possibly.
It seems like to me, I mean, it is a little obvious in that like Agnes has a that's Agnes, whatever the fuck her character is, and she has some sort of role in like commandeering Wanda and making her create this pocket reality. It definitely seems like a pocket reality.
Yes,
seems like to me, if we're going off just comics, some of these I've read, some I haven't, but I have a decent knowledge of. They're kind of mixing House of M, with like the Vision's suburban comic book series. Yeah,
there's a Agatha Harkness.
Harkness is, I think that's who Catherine Hahn is. So she has a brooch that the comic book character wears. Also,
she's a witch, and I think in the 80s or the 70s, I don't remember exactly when, but there's a storyline where she was the one who kind of helped Scarlet Witch bring the kids into existence.
Here we go. If you notice, Agnes is constantly talking about children. The second episode, they kept repeating for the children. I think she wants Wanda to have these kids so she can take them for some reason.
Create more weapons.
More sentient weapons. But if this isn't real, are the kids real? Is Vision real? First of all, Catherine Hahn, who played Agnes, she's stealing the show, both these episodes. She's fantastic. She is like all in committed. Also, I love that there's a brown guy, Asif Ali. It's just a brown guy hanging out with white dudes in the 50s TV. It's fucking fantastic.
Oh, shit.
And the dude with the mustache is hilarious, too. David Lingle playing Phil Jones. So
which one is he the one? Was he the one where he was like,
I wore a turtleneck.
Where he was like, that was my mother's piano?
Yeah.
Yes, he's the one with the big fat mustache.
Yeah. He's like, that was when Wanda makes it become like a flat cardboard. He's like, that was my mom's piano.
He was playing that piano earlier, and now it's flat. I love that whole bit, how she's covering for him in such a TV sitcom fashion. The other great line is when he does the phase through at the hat, and she opens it, and there's mirrors. That one lady's like, "Is that how mirrors work?" And then Donnie's like, "Shut up." I think Donnie is in on it too. I think she is an antagonist character. I think the helicopter is from the outside world that may have gotten into this reality and turned it into a helicopter.
So we know that African American chick is Monica Rambeau.
Geraldine is that's Teyonah Parris. That's definitely grown up Monica Rambeau. We saw.
So how does she fit into all this?
I think the helicopter brought her there,
and she got stuck,
and she's been wiped.
She was working for Sword and was trying to help, and she got stuck in there too.
Something like that. Maybe she hijacked and got stuck. She wasn't supposed to be
I
there.
think that maybe Wanda is she's conscious of the people that are around.
Yeah.
And she's just kind of bringing them into this pocket reality as they interact with her. It's almost like, I don't know if she's like in a coma or if she's in like some kind of
or is somebody doing this to her, because you remember on the radio, then the radio bit where, and it's really clever because they're playing Help Me Rhonda, and then you hear a voice saying, Wanda, do you need help? Who is doing that to you? I think I know who that voice is if you look at the cast list.
Cho, right?
No, Randall Park.
Randall Park. Is he playing Cho?
Jimmy Woo. He's playing Jimmy Woo, former S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. And Kat Dennings is also supposed to be in the show. That's probably the girl that was watching them at the end of the first episode. I think they both work for Sword now. I think.
I mean, I've heard some wild theories online.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're true.
Yeah, everyone
I've
has
heard
theories.
some stuff about like this could be the introduction of mutants. This could be the introduction to Magneto as actually her father, which has made her gone nuts. So I don't know if those are actually true or not. We'll see how it plays out.
If she's having kids, this could be the introduction to mutants. That's fucking crazy. Also, there's a lot like we talk about Red. Talk about the devil. There's a lot of lines of the devil that she, there was that one line where she goes, the devil's in the details, and Agnes is like, and in some other things too. Like
it could be a Mephisto thing.
Mephisto, yes. It could be does Mephisto need her kids, and Agnes is Agatha Harkness there to get the kids to deliver.
Oh yeah. I read I watched a video of them recapping some Wanda Vision stuff with their kids.
Yeah.
That shit is bonkers.
Dude,
that's crazy comic book.
It's so crazy convoluted comic book bullshit that you can't, once you dive in, it'll make your head hurt. You're like, what?
Oh yeah, it hurts.
What happened?
Sure.
It's pretty deep.
Then what happened? Let's talk about this episode's commercial. It is a Strucker watch. There's another Easter egg right there.
Geek boner.
Baron von Strucker. Same two people in the commercial. Who are these people? Are they somebody's parents? Are they? I don't know. Who are these people? And again, it zooms in. You see the Hydra symbol. And again, you hear ticking, and you hear the ticking speed up like it's a bomb again. I thought that was interesting. They did that twice. So I love those commercials.
You do. You enjoy them a lot.
I feel like people are going to switch and be different characters as the shows develop.
See, that would happen in a sitcom. That's like wacky sitcom reality is like you could just cast everyone different and it doesn't matter and you don't address it.
I mean, I'm into, I personally, I enjoy the sitcom aesthetic. I know I've talked to some people that are like, when's this show going to speed up? Like this show is already,
it may be slow.
I've talked to people that are already
yes.
bored with it.
Yeah.
I'm not bored with it at all. I'm actually finding it very interesting. I just don't think that everything lands for me. Like it just doesn't hit me right. It's just I'm like okay. As I said, I like talking about it because they did do so much great setups and they thought about all these little details and they're obviously constructing this kind of a thing. But to look at only a piece of it,
that's the thing. I'm looking at a piece of it, and I felt like I enjoyed it. I'm very intrigued. I wasn't blown away by any means, but I'm waiting for that. Hopefully they pace it right and you get to that blown away moment at the end. And
I have an analogy. Yeah. All right. So, when you go to a museum and you're looking at abstract art and there's some art that,
it's a blue panel.
Some art is like this crazy, interesting looking thing. And you don't know what the fuck it is, but it's got colors moving around and it's interesting and whatever. And then when someone explains to you what it is, it all clicks together and you're like, holy shit, this is great. And then there's, they have this big bullshit story. You know how it is that people talk about all this stuff. And all of a sudden, all this meaning is added to the painting. And also you're like, oh my God, I get it. And then there's stuff that's just abstract. And then someone tells you the explanation and all right, you get it. But then the painting isn't interesting to begin with until you have the explanation. So it's somewhere in between like that for me. It's like when the explanation is coming and I'm watching the videos and I'm seeing all this stuff that kind of like I wasn't really wasn't really hitting me when I was watching it. I was like, oh, so now imagine that you watch these shows and you had no internet, no other nerds telling you what's going on. Are you going to like it the same?
I did enjoy like finding clues and digging into it, and I must have watched these episodes a few times because I was like, "There's fucking clues in here." So it was fun.
Let me say something real quick and run on that point.
Yeah.
I think it's made though, like it's made for this era of digging on the internet, right? Like I don't think this show is made with the same amount of detail if the internet didn't exist and the internet was the way it was, where people dig for this kind of stuff.
Well, it wouldn't be like the point that I'm making is it's kind of like inserted into everything without development or without like.
We don't know that yet, though.
We don't know that, but we know we're going from season to season. We're going from thing to thing, and it's making these jumps. So you don't really know how they fit together, and I think that we wouldn't know how they fit together unless we had maybe like the rest of the show to watch it. But then is everyone gonna, without the internet, would everybody hang in to see that? I'll be along for the ride.
I think it would still be like, what the fuck is going on?
Remember when we watched Legion?
Yeah,
and it was the same
show
way.
Is very confusing.
But Legion,
I quit after one episode.
This show is way less confusing than that show.
Yeah, and I think that Legion actually was giving you a lot more of the story than this is.
But that's almost more. It's almost more an adult show. So it's a PG show. They didn't even go PG-13.
Right.
So there's only there's a limit to what they could do. But I think they did a good job, and you should be like, what the fuck is going on? I need to, and the next episode better fucking pay off. That's all I'm saying.
Oh shit!
The next episode better pay off.
Well, it should be a little bit more.
I don't think it's going to pay off till we get into the deep.
I want a little bit more. Well, I do. Also, I wouldn't mind actually more little mysteries.
I would caution on expecting that. I really think I'm anticipating it because as this show moves on to episode, if they continue this theme of copying the eras, like it's going to get more into my wheelhouse, and I'm going to want to I've already this next episode definitely looks like Brady Bunch.
Yes,
the 80s one.
I love that.
There's one. I don't know if it's the 80s or the 90s one. Looks directly like Full House.
Yeah, there's a Full House one.
So there's things that I'm anticipating,
which is kind of brilliant because it's gonna hit every demographic, right? I'll be like, this is the show I grew up with.
And they mentioned too, even the 2000s, they were mentioning Malcolm in the middle, and how cynical TV was at that time.
Classic.
So
I can't wait.
I want to see it.
Oh fuck, I can't wait. Okay, wait. A couple other things at the end of this episode. She's suddenly preggers. And you see them actually conceive in the open in the beds. Remember where she gets the beds together and then they get busy. So she's suddenly pregnant and there's a disturbance and Vision walks out and they see a fucking beekeeper climb out of a manhole with a sword logo on his back and he looks back at them and she goes, no. And she fucking rewinds it like it's an old VHS tape. That was amazing.
Is he getting pollinated? Is that what the beekeeper means?
He's like, I've come to spread your seed, have you? What do you guys think is going on with this beekeeper, first of all? Any speculation?
I think it's just someone that's accessing
the world
that can alter the reality. And she just projects a beekeeper, but it's someone that can get in. I don't know. That's just my thought. And she's so warped into thinking this is the perfect life for her because she grew up watching these things on TV, probably in Sokovia, that she's like, no, this is perfect.
Well, she's trying to protect Vision from seeing fucked up things.
It seems like Vision's the one that's kind of inquire, this is all fucked. He's questioning things.
Right. And she's trying
she's trying to just rattle her brain from reality. This is the reality.
Well, she has the line. She goes, we live here now and I want us to fit in. And it's a serious line. So she's trying to protect Vision from what's going on. And I'm like, Vision's fucking dead. Who is this?
Yeah, that's my question. Is Vision alive or is she projecting that he's alive or is what's going on?
So she fuck an image of she had sex with a projection and had babies?
Was Vision ever really alive? Number one. Number two is
not alive, just functional, operating.
He had something to do with one of the stones, and I think that Wanda is by extension using stone power herself. So I think it's all kind of intertwined with the stones.
The red is also the color of the ether power that she held on to and then she had for a while. The other Easter egg I noticed on the cabinet, on the magic trick cabinet, there's a hexagon shape of a stone, and it's the fucking shape of Mind Stone or whatever stone was in his head. It's the same stone.
Also,
on the cabinet.
her powers in the comics are like hexes. She can throw hexes.
Yes, like witch. Yes, like a hex. Right. So there was a little bit of speculation on the Beekeeper on the internet. There's a Spider-Man villain called Swarm, he's a Nazi beekeeper, and he's made out of bees.
I like that you laugh at that.
I don't think this is going to be Swarm. That's ridiculous. More possible, somebody had this theory. This makes sense that this is an AIM person, because remember the AIM's costumes
they kind of look like beekeepers,
and so she's seeing it like a beekeeper, but it's really an AIM dude wearing the AIM suit.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't think about AIM.
Well, he's wearing a sword logo on his back, though.
But he did have a sword logo on his back, so I don't know what that means.
I actually forgot that AIM is like a big
AIM's a thing.
Big like faceless army of villains in the Marvel comics that they haven't addressed yet. MODOK, right?
MODOK
wasn't MODOK the AIM guy?
Yeah.
I believe so,
AIM,
right?
MODOK
What's the
works with
acronym AIM stand for? Is that just for when you go to the bathroom in a bar?
Always in motherfuckers. I don't know.
Wait, let me find that out.
And then at the end, the episode switches to color. Things are progressing.
Advanced idea mechanics.
Yep.
Advanced idea mechanics, and Sword is sentient weapons.
Baron
Strucker,
MODOK.
Yes.
So Baron Strucker has something to do with AIM. So that's the tie.
Oh, okay. Strucker and AIM. So it could be. So it's AIM and Sword though. Maybe they're competing for the next sentient weapon. Fuck, what's going on? More Easter eggs. I loved in the beginning where I just mentioned the two beds and he was scared. And then she goes, "You're using your night vision. That was kind of funny, but mixing the two beds into one, making them one bed, showing the evolution of TV sitcom couples. There was something called the Hays Code that started in 1934 in Hollywood that prohibited you from showing married people sleeping in the same bed. It carried over into TV in the 50s and 60s. So you would notice Dick Van Dyke, I Love Lucy, a lot of these shows, the married couple has a nightstand between them, sleeps in a separate bed. The Hays Code became dead in the 60s when it was replaced by the MPAA ratings, which we still have for films, and the FCC censorship for TV. The first this is a great tie-in. The first live-action TV couple to share a bed on television who were not already married in real life were Darren and Samantha Stevens on Bewitched, the show that they're spoofing. And then by the 70s, you had Brady Bunch. They slept in the same bed. Newhart show, that was all gone. But Bewitched was the first show that actually put the couples in the same bed, and they did it in this episode. I don't know if they did that on purpose or somebody researched that, but that shit was dope. I love when they do that.
I mean, it's definitely on purpose.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's completely planned.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, Geraldine has a little brooch that looks like a sling ring portal from the Sorcerers and Doctor Strange. So
this movie's supposed to tie right in Multiverse of Madness. So.
Will Doctor Strange have anything to do with what's going on here?
Geek boner.
Is it possible?
One thing I wanted to did you mention that the girl from Buffy the Vampire Slayer was the
That's
blonde?
Dottie. Emma Caulfield, I think is her name.
Yeah, she was.
Tell us about Emma Caulfield. She was in Buffy.
Yeah, what was her character in Buffy? I forgot the name.
She hated rabbits or something.
She was a witch. She was a demon witch.
She was a demon witch that did not like rabbits.
So that's funny that she's on a show where she's another demon witch. Probably.
Yeah, she's probably a demon witch. Yeah, so Dottie's hand gets cut and you see the red color again. And then she has a weird line about how do you get blood out of a thing? You do it yourself. She knows. I think she knows that this is not a reality.
Anya,
I don't know.
Well, no, she at that part of the episode, she's like catching on to Wanda. She's like, "What are you doing?" Like, there's a part where she's like figuring out that she's not supposed to be in this reality, and I believe she's like, "Who are you?" Like, what's going on here?
That's when
starts hearing. Wanda starts hearing the Wanda stuff.
Yes,
and then that's when the glass breaks, and then Dottie snaps back into like this pocket reality that Wanda's
and
had.
Similar in the first episode when the Mr. Hart was really
questioning them.
Yes, he was like, "Where?" He was slamming the table. "Where are you from? What's the deal?" He starts choking, and
he starts choking.
Choke.
If you notice, she looks at him, and then he starts choking.
So I think she did that.
She did it to him.
to shut him
Everything
up.
that's going on is she's in control of, pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also, when she finds the helicopter, it's Agnes who distracts her from it and changes the subject. So there's all these little things going on that I'm super curious about. Okay, that's good shit, man. I think the remainder of these episodes, there's going to be a lot to talk about. But like you said, Ruggs, it's fun to talk about all the shit they put in here.
I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot in there.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot. You got to credit them for it was so intriguing. Do we want to rate it as it is, or do we wait? I don't know how to judge this without the rest of the parts.
What are you gonna do? Rate them as the 2 episodes together?
And they're very short.
Let's hold off on.
I think
rating it
you're
right
right. I agree with that because it's really 2 pieces. It's just 2 small pieces of this fucking puzzle. But
I think that's best.
Yeah, I think that we all hang in there, and I think that hopefully we're going to be blown away about what happens. And I'm trying not to be too high with expectations, but I know Marvel, and I know that they spent a lot of money on it, so I kind of have a feeling that it's all going to be well worth. Even some of the stuff not landing properly, whatever. I think it's all going to be all worth it. And so I'm dialed in.
Okay, let's do some news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
There's a spoiler thread on our Facebook group, Jock and Nerd Nation, for the whole season. So if you're dying to talk about spoilers, that's the place you can go. I got a couple of reactions from the premiere episodes from our listeners. You guys, most of everybody really dug it. I'm going to start with the one dude who did not enjoy it. Jess Rivera comments, hash brown floppy jock.
Floppy jock.
Bring back the Netflix shows if all 9 episodes are like this. Oh, shit.
Actually, he wasn't the only one. I forget the name of the other person that was like, this is garbage. I know exactly where it's going.
Oh, shit.
So he wasn't the only one.
Okay.
I've seen some pretty,
it's
like,
interesting.
most people like it, but I've seen people that if they don't like it, they really don't like it.
They're going to rebel against the MCU. Joe Henry says, anyone catch the significance of the blinking red dot on the Stark toaster? Was that a reference to the Stark bomb that Wanda's brother Quicksilver saw in Age of Ultron? I think it was. Or that Strucker Hydro Watch, Baron Strucker used the Mind Stone to give Wanda her powers. Is that Monica Rambeau? Yes, it is. A lot of world building that's easy to glance over. Yeah, and that's kind of what I love that they're doing. Mike Harris, so here's an interesting perspective. He goes, I'm not an MCU super nerd or anything, but I had so much fun watching the episodes, and it looks like Elizabeth Olsen had fun with the character. I like that. They both seem to be having a blast with this show so far. Dylan McCandless says, I'm 90% sure that all this is just Wanda's doing, and we've got a House of M situation. Geek boner. Yep, on our hands. However, there's the off chance that some other cosmic entity, such as Nightmare, or perhaps even Mephisto, could be involved, so I'm keeping my eyes peeled for further clues. Nightmare was the other guy people were saying. I think there's all the red and the devil talk, and I think there's some kind of satanic thing. I don't know. The last thing I want to mention, Mike Cherkowski shared a link today. The title is, After Tenet and HBO Max issues, looks like Christopher Nolan and Warner Brothers are breaking up. Oh, shit.
Floppy jock.
He says, while I have heard a lot of offhand troublesome things about Warner Media as of late and their decision-making across the board, not really feeling Nolan's side of the breakup here. This is something we kind of saw coming, I think.
This is going great.
This is going great.
For both Nolan and Warner Brothers. I don't know. Anthony responds, is Nolan being a crybaby because he didn't, because they didn't really feel Tenet brought them what he said it was going to bring them?
I mean, I'm sure there's a bit of like, there's room to blame on all sides. I think Christopher Nolan's probably feeling a little bit entitled to things that he should have gotten, and maybe some like insight on terms of like where they were going. And Warner definitely miscommunicated all of this, as by evidenced by the fact that the entire film industry is turning against him. So there's blame to go around. Nolan and Warner Brothers breaking up. I mean, if they break up, like I don't know if Warner Brothers was necessarily like the reason Nolan was doing so well. Like I think as long as he gets a studio that's going to invest in him and let him do his thing, which probably most studios would do, even post Tenet, I think it's going to be fine for Nolan. Like he's going to land on his feet if this is indeed a breakup. I don't know what the contracts look like though. So
Rugs, it says, according to the Wall Street Journal, Nolan is unlikely, quote unquote, to work with Warner Brothers again. Who is this a bigger loss for then, do you think?
Oh, Warner Brothers and Legendary were investing in his movies a lot. So
yeah.
I don't know exactly what what Warner Bros. Is going to do with losing such a big name, but it's got a lot of IP. It's got a lot of things. So, I mean, losing one movie a year or a movie every 3 years.
Yeah, he makes a movie every 3 years.
Yeah,
Dunkirk
so
was 2017.
it's not like a huge loss. Yeah, it is weird to see something like that happen, like where you have this great long-term working relationship, a lot of stuff happen, and this one movie gets screwed up. And I think that's, like Anthony said, they're both to blame. Like the movie was a little bit inaccessible.
Yeah.
And also, they have this whole thing about the not wanting to release it with a wide audience, and and it's COVID. Like, I don't know, the expectations of business as usual is stupid.
Well, the reason I put this in because I wanted to slide this into what are we watching, which is something we haven't done in a while. And well, I finally saw fucking Tenet.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah,
twice.
What did you think? Twice? Jesus Christ! Why would you do that to yourself?
I'll tell you why. Here's what I thought. Ruggs, have you seen this yet?
No.
Oh shit! Okay.
Without spoiling anything.
Okay, without spoiling anything,
and giving away the entire plot, because all your reviews you like narrate the entire plot before you give your thoughts.
First of all, the fact that it was at home, I had the captions on, I had the sound fucking blasting. That sound issue that people were saying in theater, no problem. Not a problem. I got every fucking piece of dialogue, right? The first time I watched it, up until the halfway mark of the movie, I found myself going, what the fuck is going on? Why are they doing this again? Why are they? And it's a lot of going from one guy to get another thing, to get another thing, to get another thing. And this is not the movie you want to release during the pandemic. I don't know why he thought it was. Because when it got to the end of the movie, I had rented it. So I had a brief rental. I was thinking about it all night. And I was like, did I like this movie? What did I just see? What is he doing? And the next morning, I was like, fuck it, I'm watching this again. You need to watch this movie twice. It made a lot more sense the second time. Now, I see what he's doing. He's using a concept that he's been playing with, a time bendy concept he's been playing with throughout his whole repertoire. This movie is it's the most Christopher Nolan-y movie ever. It's a little bit Memento, a little bit Dark Knight Rises, a little bit Interstellar, a little bit Inception. It's, and he's evolved. So he's done something that I've never seen done in time travel movies, right? I will give him that. And a little bit, it reminded me of Edge of Tomorrow. A little bit, it reminded me of James Bond. He's mushing all these things together. He does do something I've never seen before and achieves it. Now, the problem is...
Okay, go ahead, because I have counterpoints to this.
The problem is the story that he is written around to show, he wants to have a dope fucking car scene. He wants to blow up a plane. He bought that plane, and they actually blew it up. He paid to buy that plane. He wants to do all the shit he's done in all those other movies. This story that he wrote to get this done is so fucking convoluted, and there is the main character, the protagonist, he has no character. There's no character development. He didn't care. He's just like, I want to show this time concept, and I want to have these cool scenes, and it seemed like he went backwards and wrote the story around that, and it's kind of a convoluted mess. You watch it again, more things make sense in a lot of ways when you watch Primer or any of these time travel, like Back to the Future. You watch them again, you're like, oh, that shit is there. I didn't see it the first time. So I love that. And he's done some technical mindfuck things. I'm like, I don't even know how you track this to get it to go right, but it does make your head hurt ultimately to actually think about what's going on.
Did you like it or not?
I thought it was okay. It's not his best movie. I didn't hate it. It was, I don't know. Fuck, I liked, the ambition of it I liked, but his writing and his dialogue movie. And the structure, what the mechanics of what he did was just borderline pretentious bullshit, self-masturbatory bullshit.
Nose bowling.
It was a lot of nose bowl.
It is Nolan so far up his own ass he can't see the sky anymore, in my opinion.
But he does something I've never seen in any other timey-wimey movie. And that,
yeah, he does something you've never seen, but you know what? You still can't explain to me how those characters are interacting with one another and how it actually works.
No, you can't. You try to think about that, and if you
try to think about someone moving backwards while the other person's moving forward and the way they interact, it's impossible. That you can't wrap your mind around it because you can't.
He's catching the bullet from out of the
impossible.
wall. Yeah.
According to the laws of our physics, anyway.
Well, not only that, it just even the way it's explained he doesn't do it.
No, he barely
I'm
explains
curious what Ruggs will think when
If I watch this movie, it's just gonna make me mad, and I'll hit my TV.
I had to, but this is a movie I wanted to discuss so badly because I was like, "What the fuck?" I want to do a spoiler discussion because you got to give.
It'd be great to discuss.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to review it if Ruggs watches it. Because
If I remember sitting in the movie theater midway through similar to Imran and going, I was pissed off. I was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Why are they doing this? Was what I kept saying.
and like you said, the plot mechanics to get to where I'm like, so
Really?
they're going from here to
Yeah.
you've got to meet this person to meet this thing to meet this person to do this thing to meet this person. How does this connect? What?
Why are you putting people
Very interesting movie to discuss. So one day we'll get around to it.
Well, in the pantheon of time travel movies, which I love, I've seen tons of them. Again, never seen anybody even attempt this, but it makes sense looking at Memento, especially, and Inception. It makes sense that he would evolve to this, but I think Chris Nolan needs like a script doctor or something. Someone just needs to check, does this story make any sense? Do we know anything about these people? What is the point of any of this?
He needed someone to come in and be like, this is a great idea. I think you, and the ambition here is great, and the technical wizardry is amazing.
Yeah.
But you need to be able to communicate this to a wide audience.
Yeah.
That was my thing. It's like I just couldn't figure it out.
I don't know why he thought this is the movie everyone's going to risk going to the theaters.
This
for.
is not. Well, that's the thing. I feel like this is an art film with action in it.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's not. It's not like a popcorn film for like the masses, like the dirty, stupid masses.
Big set pieces.
That won't want to wear masks in public. Like people who like people who can't. How are they gonna fucking understand this movie when they can't understand not to like fucking get your news from your phone? It's So I don't know. This is not the movie that's supposed to be a tentpole franchise film.
No,
it's not. It's more like of a niche film.
But I mean, there's even, I love, the name is a clue. So there's a lot of little details, but it's,
the more I think about it, the more I hate it.
Really?
Well, yeah.
It's big.
The more I came out of the movie theater, like, oh my God. And the more I think about it, the more I hate it.
Now, what happens if I watch it and I love it?
Oh, fine. That'd be great.
Well, that would be a very big shift in roles in this podcast. We all have our little box here.
I need to break down these time travel mechanics that he's trying. What if he can't even explain?
I like shitty movies, and that's a shitty movie. I don't know.
I could see you getting pissed off and be like, "This is the way he wrote this is stupid."
No. If it's a writing thing that's lame, I'm out. That's it.
Yeah.
Are you watching anything?
I mean, I review what I watched.
Yeah, we know what you've been
I have down to one episode of Lovecraft Country, but unfortunately, I liked it. It's just I'm so into the catching up on all the movies that might be nominated that I might have to put it on the back burner.
Still
for a bit.
Just one. Yeah.
I'm still watching. I'm into season 2 of Kingdom now.
Oh yeah,
and I'm
the Kingdom.
It's good. They got. I think they brought more girls on to the second season.
Geek boner.
It's good. It's not like the greatest thing I've ever seen, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's actually pretty decent. And I'm gonna stick and watch all 3 seasons. And then I'm also watching Barstool Sports. The pizza reviews.
Oh yeah. The with Prez.
Yeah, one bite. Everyone knows the rules.
Yes.
And I live in New York where all these pizzerias are. So it's like, it's funny to see him go and like fucking shit on the pizzeria. Or there's one where he goes into the pizzeria and they recognize him and they start like fucking crying and shit.
It's Perez Hilton.
Oh, yeah. No, it's Prez. It's Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports. He's called Prez.
Like a Bostonian.
Yeah. It's on, you find him on, I think he does they're released on Instagram.
Okay.
There's one where he like rates a pizza, right? He's doing the rating. And this is pre-COVID days. He's rating it. He gives it like a decent score. But then like the manager comes out. He's like, "You don't have clearance to film here. Like you can't film here." And they record it. He's like, "You got to leave."
Shit.
He's like, "You just ruined your whole fucking business, buddy. You just ruined your whole business. It's now 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10.
Shit.
This is XYZ Pizzeria, and they just kicked me out.
Oh, nobody can go there.
You just ruined your business." And like literally, it was getting like Yelp spammed on Yelp with like horrible reviews just by people like because he's got such a strong following.
Wow, he could destroy places.
Yeah, there's ones where he did pizza reviews with like celebrities and shit.
Yeah, he's done them with celebs. It's a pretty funny.
That's
it's
fun.
One bite, everyone knows the rules.
One bite. Everyone, now I'm gonna say that every time I eat pizza. Like I'm gonna do that now. I'm just gonna walk out with a full pizza and a steaming hot slice and just pretend I'm talking to somebody and just say it and eat it.
What? Take one bite, you throw it away.
One bite, everyone knows the rules.
One bite,
But he never takes. He takes like 10 bites out every time.
Yeah, he takes one and then he takes like another like taste bite and then
He's
another.
got to get the crust. He's got to get the crust too.
Yeah.
No, you should review it after one bite. That's the
Like
that's the game.
I watched one and I end up watching like 20 of them.
They're easy watches.
Is it fun like Hot Ones?
I don't know. I just like to see this guy go in and I don't know why people watch it. I have no idea what it is.
It's silly.
It's so
silly.
stupid.
That's the
It's silly. It's silly. The things that catch on.
Yeah, that's
these
the
days,
shit
it's
that
silly.
goes viral. Like it's weird. Like you could
Hot Ones is also another one. It's
Yeah.
just like, let's have celebs on eating wings.
Yeah, and now
Just
they got a
ask them
TV show and
questions.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking hilarious. Also, if you want a good laugh and some light viewing, History of Swear Words on Netflix.
Oh, I saw
hosted
that,
by
yeah.
Nick
Was it
Cage.
good?
Oh my God. If you want to see Nick Cage swear up a storm, and it's actually really interesting because this is something I've always wondered. Why do these 4 letters get so many people so ruffled up, whether it's shit or fuck? He does.
Or any word, period.
Or any word. It's just like, it's 4 letters. And there's such meaning. It's fucking crazy. But you do find out kind of through history, a lot of these started in like the 12th century and earlier, some even earlier. But it's kind of
Words
interesting.
have the power we give them. We gave them this
Yeah.
power. They don't actually have power.
I was like, why does shit mean
It's
poop?
Yeah,
It's very weird.
You
It's
can
so
say
strange.
excrement. It's the same thing.
Yeah, but why did the specific word shit come to mean shit?
And then why did shit become a
Yes.
taboo word?
Some of these words weren't taboo and changed, and some words became less taboo as time went on. It's a really interesting show, and you get to see Nick Cage just be a fucking maniac when he's hosting. He's just crazy.
It's weird that like just humans in general
Yeah.
have, as Ruggs kind of mentioned, like have given so much weight to a word.
Yeah, it makes
like
no
no
sense.
other animal in the animal kingdom was like that word. Like it's like go fuck your
That
mother.
elephant honked
Like-
at me. I'm gonna kill him.
Like no one's put
Yeah.
that much weight
Yeah.
into like a sound, but like we've not only like synthesized and figured out speech, like, unlike most other animal, like any other animals other than like dolphins and porpoises and like who can like communicate with via echolocation, but we've figured it out, and then we've like put too much emphasis on like certain words. Like we're so stupid.
Like now
So
you can't.
strange.
You can't even be specific anymore about anything. You can't even. So words, not even words like curse words, just regular words that are too specific, that describe things too exact.
Yeah.
You can't say those.
I mean,
or to the opposite end, words that are too vague and can be misinterpreted.
Yes, that's also dangerous.
Also are bad.
Yeah, that's also dangerous. Like the episode about the word pussy is interesting because obviously it started with the pussycat.
Cat?
Yeah, but
Right.
they explain why it was called pussycat and how it moved to what it means now. And it took like hundreds. I thought it was super fascinating. So it's,
I'll have to check it out.
It's because it's something I've always wanted to show. I've always wanted to dig into, especially fuck. I wanted to know the history of that word. And there's multiple.
How many episodes?
There's not that many. There's like 5 or 6.
That's what's it called?
History of Swear Words. And they're like 20 minutes. It's really quick watch.
Basically,
Easy
all
watch.
you need to know is that men are evil when you watch.
Yes, yes. It's all,
It all
and
comes
it's all
down
been
to men being-
Yeah. All men throughout history have made these words bad.
I actually have one thing I did watch a while back. I watched 2 episodes of Andrew Schultz, his stuff on Netflix. It's pretty funny. It's
Yeah.
pretty fucking funny. I only
it's
watched the
still
first
going.
2.
His show, he's got an ongoing show now. Yeah.
Yeah, but there was the one where he's like doing his 15-minute bit that he does on Instagram. It's up this time longer, where he's addressing all the issues that came this past year. He's a funny guy.
I just saw him in a movie.
Oh, really?
I didn't finish it, so that's why I didn't mention it. All right, so I was looking for something to watch, and then I saw his name come up in this movie called The Seven Fishes.
Okay.
He plays an Italian guy, like in the
fuck.
in the 80s, that drives like a fucking muscle car, and he's like the cousin of the main guy in the story, who is this like dude who wants to go to art school, but like he's Italian and he grows up in like some part of Pennsylvania that's like nowhere town, and it's around Christmas time where they have like the Feast of the Seven Fishes, and they're all making.
Oh,
the
it's
fish.
called Feast of the Seven Fishes.
Yeah.
From 2019.
And yeah, he's in that movie, and he's acting.
He's in a movie.
Is he good?
He's fine. I mean, he's being himself, kind of, but not.
Joey Pants is in this.
He's a Jewish guy playing an Italian.
Angelo.
There's a lot of people that are not Italian playing Italians.
It's acting. It's called acting, fuckers.
That's true. No, I get it. But you're skeptical when it's a comedian that I have a ton of knowledge on in terms of his acting credibility.
Well, look at Sacha Baron Cohen, dude. He's a good.
I think he was fine. He wasn't like amazing, but he just when I see him, I just see Andrew Schultz.
Yeah,
he could play the one character like himself. Fine. All right, good stuff, gang. Rug Boy, where can the listener find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at Really Rug Boy.
Give him a follow. Say hello. Listener, visit the show notes for this episode, jockandnerd.com/365 for links about all the bullshit we talked about, and most importantly, links on how to subscribe to the show so you never miss a show. Of course, share the show with your friends. You know, you can text episodes from Apple Podcasts if you have an iPhone. You can text people an episode of a podcast. I want everyone right now, whatever you're doing, text them this episode of the podcast.
Oh, yeah, do that.
Just text it to one person.
Release the hounds.
Release the hounds. And guys, this is, I guess, our last Sunday release. Holy shit.
Oh, shit.
We will see you again on Wednesdays. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
We're going to release all over you on Wednesday.
All over your face and chest.
My balls was hot.
The fuck's going on here?
Oh,
Somebody touch my spaghetti! Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.
Yes, that's what we saw.
We saw that happen.
Jock and Nerd.